What's going on, you all? Coach Reese here, Propletics Boxing, coming to bring you a new video in our Boxing for Beginners series. We're going to go over the double jab, all right? One of the missing tools that I see a lot of fighters miss and that they neglect that can actually win them the fight. So listen, before we get into it, y'all know the routine, right? Like, comment, share, subscribe. Also, turn on that notification bell, and the rest will be in my hands to provide this top quality content that I love to bring you all so much. So the double jab, this is a tool that I have seen that a lot of fighters have actually abandoned, but it's a highly usable tool and a highly strategic tool that fighters can actually use to set up their bigger and better shots. However, I don't know what happened to boxing as far as using it. So I'm kind of disappointed. I rarely see any fighters of today throw it. I see more fighters like Triple G and fighters of the past throw it, but the double jab is a very, very, very high skill and highly used tool that you should use. Let's get into how to throw the double jab. First, let's cover the footwork. You all should already know by this point in time how to get in your boxing guard. Lead foot forward, right foot back, feet not turned, track stance. Feet turned slightly out, back heel off the ground, knuckles on your face, right? Knuckles on the cheekbone, hugging yourself right here, right? So, with the single jab, what do? We push off of the back foot, tap the front foot, and extend the front fist, right? Now, with the double jab, what you're gonna do is you're going to push off of that back foot, step forward with your right foot, and then push forward again off the back foot, and step forward with the right foot. Each jab, when you're pushing forward, has two steps. It's for orthodox individuals, left, right, left, right. Notice I'm not landing that heel at all. If you land on that heel, that means you have to pick it back up to press. We don't want to do that. So you push off the back foot. So essentially in your head, you think press, press. That's the footwork again, right? Press, press. Landing on the ball of your foot, never the heel. So that's the footwork for the double jab. You simply press, press. Again, press, press. Notice I'm not taking huge steps. You don't do this, because what that's going to do is put you too close to your opponent, and then your other weapons are not going to be able to be utilized. You're going to be too close to throw your cross, too close to throw your hooks, your uppercuts. So what you want to do is make sure that you take micro steps. The double jab, in ascension or in actuality, should take the same amount of distance that it should on a single jab. And I'll show you what I mean by that after we get the double jab arm work together. So when you do the double jab with the arm, after you extend that first jab out, you do not, and I repeat, do not retract that fist fully to the face to shoot your second jab. Absolutely not. That's going to take forever. So you don't do this. Do you see how long that took? You don't want to do that. You want your double jab to be pop, pop, not pop, pop. So what you do is you retract your hand halfway. So when you're doing multiple shots off of the lead hand, you only retract your hand halfway. So I'm going to do it slowly. I'm going to press, boom. That's the extension. Then I'm going to retract halfway and press again. Here it is again. Press, wrong way. Press, press, right? And then at the end of the second jab, you pull it back into your face all the way. So when you double jab, it's only a halfway retraction. Pow, pow. So you keep pumping the arm versus retracting the arm fully. You retract the arm fully after you complete the double jab. Now, notice I'm still taking that small step. So what happens is the micro steps equals the same stepping range that I would use in a single jab. So I am covering from this step to this step on a single jab. On the double jab, instead of going here first, I'll go halfway and then there first. Does that make sense? So if this is the placement of the first jab, boom. The second placement of the second jab will be here. That's in my double jab scenario. In my single jab scenario, I will skip the first one and go straight to the second one. I hope I'm not losing you there. Like I said, this is all about footwork. Boxing is more about your feet than it is about your hands. The better you are with your feet, the more coordinated you'll be with your hands. Learn how to dance. I've said that multiple times. So, let's say with the single jab, boom, I've made that large step. With the double jab, boom, boom. I got there eventually after I made the second step. Does that make sense? So the double jab itself can be used to throw your opponent off with the first jab and then connect with the second jab. It can also be used to press your opponent back as you're setting up for the bigger shot. And it can also just be used to get reads on your opponent. The double jab is a highly evaded tool right now in the pros because everybody's looking to, slug and thug and throw the harder shots. But the double jab is a highly useful tool. Also, another way to use the double jab is mix it up. So let's say I wanted to shoot the first jab down to the body and the second jab up to the top. That's intelligent boxing. When you mix up your attacks versus everything just being head, it can be body head or it can be head body. Now, this is where the footwork gets a bit tricky. So let's say I'm behind this line right now and I want to shoot the first jab to the body. You guys should know how to shoot a jab to the body right now. You squat, boom, and you step in. After you shoot that jab to the body, you halfway retract, and then you press again off of the back foot. So instead of going double jab up top, you go bop, bop, there. So you go down first, boom, get your opponent's attention to come down, and then you're able to stick the second shot up top. So here, boom, and then boom, up top. The other one is top, bottom. That's one that I get a lot of hate on because it's hard to see because they've just blinded themselves. So you have to think about a person's next move or next moves plural. You don't want to just sit there and throw one shot and hope that it's the lucky shot that you get off and that it's going to throw everybody's rhythm off. That's not what you want to do. What you want to do is set up things for the future. So if I'm throwing the jab to the top and the jab to the body, I'll step in with the jab to the head and then I'll tap in with the jab to the body. But what I won't do is close in here. After I shoot that jab to the body, I'll retract the foot. So there's a retraction that takes place on the jab to the body. Let's look at that again. I jab up top, I step in with the jab to the body, and then I'm back. That's why you have to be light on your feet. So forward, in, out. Again, forward, in, out. Forward, in, out. So the jab to the body, to the head, looks like this, bop, bop. And then the jab to the head and the body, bop, bop, boom. Unless you are following through with a cross. That is the only time that you will actually take that right foot inside after you jab to the body. And that's for the scenario where you're jabbing to the head, the body, and then the cross. So you're here, bop, bop, boom. But that's a whole different scenario. All I want you to work on right now is the double jab. So the three scenarios of double jab, once again, I'll face forward with it. Press, press is double jab to the head, boom, boom. Double jab, body to the head, boom, boom. And then double jab head to the body, boom, boom. These three tools are highly effective, highly neglected, and I'm kind of disappointed in pro boxing right now because it seems like they're getting away from a lot of the basics that work and the basics that will be effective to get the fast, flashy combinations off instead of doing the basics. You could pick somebody apart with the basics. So you should actually do so. Please work on your double jabs. Simple video, simple instructions. I hope you enjoyed it. Nothing over the top. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you practice. I hope you go back and look at the other videos. Firstly, look at the video on how to throw the jab, single. I'll put that in the actual attachments. How to throw the single jab. I'll put it in the, what are these things called? Cards. And then learn how to throw the jab to the body. Then after you throw the jab to the body, you'll be actually able to throw the double jab and the jab to the body and the head body a lot more fluid. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Look forward to the next lesson.